First Samuel 14. So there's a lot to unpack here. Um, so like they were kind of like at a standstill, and Jonathan basically wanted to see if God will give the Philistine to his hand, and so he ventured out without telling his dad. And the in the first attack, it's interesting that there's like a cliff, and Jonathan climbed up using his hand and feet, but then the Philistine fell before Jonathan, so I guess they fell over the cliff, and I guess the cliff was at a slope or something, but not sure how they fell, but they fell, and his armor bearer followed him and killed behind him. So they fell behind Jonathan, and his armor bearer was the one who killed them. So, and Jonathan is like climbing up using hand and feet. So I don't understand how this all played out, but it sounds very impossible. But the Bible said that he killed 20 men in an area of half an acre. So maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe he climbed up using his hand and feet, his armor bearer right behind him. So when he got up, then they started the fight, and the Philistine fell before Jonathan, meaning Jonathan defeated them, and then his armor bearer is the one who killed them. So I think that probably the better understanding of this. And during this attack, Jonathan had victory over about 20 people, and then God sent an earthquake, and the earthquake caused a lot of confusion, and so Saul wanted to ask God for what to do, but then so Saul was talking with the priest. There was a priest with him. And I'm not sure what withdraw your hand when Saul, in verse 19, when Saul said to the priest, withdraw your hand. I don't know what it meant. I guess that's like he didn't really hear from God, but then he went to battle anyways. So they found the Philistine in total confusion due to the earthquake. And then people that gave other Israelites more confidence to capture, to pursue the Philistines. And so the battle moved beyond Beth Aven, and Saul actually bound the people under an oath, saying, "Cursed be anyone who eats food before evening come." And this caused the people to be to not have enough energy, but Jonathan did not hear that, and so he tasted the honey, and he actually said that his father had made trouble for the country by binding himself under an oath like this. However, God actually took that oath, even though it's unwisely made, it was still important to God. And Jonathan was singled out as being someone who are with fault. And then before that, right here, the Israelites struck down the Philistines, and then because they were exhausted, they ate the plunder along with the blood. And then someone said to Saul that the men are sinning against the Lord by eating meat that has blood in it. And I'm not sure what verse 33 means. Roll the large stone over here at once. Oh, so roll the stone so that he can slaughter it and eat. on the stone, I guess. They probably are gonna drain the blood somehow. And then Saul built an altar to the Lord. And then he wanted to pursue the Philistine by night, but the priest with him wanted to ask of God, and that's actually a better idea. But God did not, so they asked God, but God did not answer him that day. So he felt like that was because someone, like, there was a sin, and whoever is sin, like, must die, even Jonathan. And Jonathan was singled out, but then the people of the Israelites saved Jonathan. So it's kind of like Saul made, in this chapter, Saul made like so many mistakes. Like he didn't inquire the Lord when he should. He didn't have, like, he made an oath that he shouldn't. He promised that the person who is guilty to be put to death when he doesn't really, like, when he shouldn't. And so I'm not sure if God wanted Jonathan to be killed. That's why Jonathan was singled out, or why that oath, why was it so hastily made, but it was still bound. There are a lot of things that I don't understand about this, but the Bible wrote it as it happened historically. And so I guess because God didn't, and why God didn't respond to Saul, is it because Saul made so many like bad judgment that God didn't want to talk to him? I'm not sure. But eventually Saul stopped pursuing the Philistine, and they withdrew to their own land. And then the Bible said that he actually fought against the Israelites' enemies and delivering Israel from the hands of those who had plundered them. So God was still help. I think God still helped him in that sense. And then it also talk about his family, and whenever Saul saw a mighty or brave man, he took him into his service. And I think that was something that God actually warned, that with a king, they will take your children, like your mighty men, into service, like the army and stuff. So that's again what happened.